Hey everyone, today is August 16th, 2025. I'm back in Beijing for the weekend and I had a plan to meet up with a friend. Before our lunch, I decided to visit one of the city's most iconic Tibetan Buddhist temple, Yong He Temple. So normally you can take subway to the Yong He Temple. I took line 5 and got off at X5. And you can see immediately you step out the subway station. You can see lots of people heading straight toward the temple. It's clearly a population destination because it's a summer vacation right now. So there's a lot of tourists from China and from all over the world to visit Beijing. So Yong He Temple, also known as the Lama Temple, is one of the Beijing's most iconic Tibetan Buddhist sets. Originally built in 1694 as the residence of Prince Yong. So Prince Yong is very interesting. Actually, he becomes the emperor of Qing dynasty. So this temple actually was transferred from a palace to the temple in 1725. And renamed the Yong He Palace. And in 1744, Qianlong Emperor officially converted the palace into a Tibetan Buddhist monastery. So Qianlong is actually the son of Emperor Yongzheng, and both Qianlong and Yongzheng were born in this palace. So after this, Qianlong make it a spiritual center for Tibetan Buddhism in China. This temple blends traditional Chinese and Tibetan architecture styles with golden rooftops and halls filled with scarred statues and relics. So as I said, one of the fun facts, the two emperors, Yongzheng and Qianlong, were born here. Later, I will show the wash basins for Qianlong after he born like 3 days. Washing the basins, it also displayed here. Now you can see we had entered into the front yard of the temple, and we just take turns to go into the temple. And even it's a summer vacation time, and it's not so many people here, so if there's lots of people, then you need to take a long turns and wait outside, go very slowly. So Yong He Temple's transformation from an imperial palace into one of the highest-ranking Tibetan Buddhist monasteries was driven primarily by political strategies. In 1793, Emperor Qianlong introduced the golden urn system to regulate the reincarnation process of high lamas like Dalai Lama and Panchen Lama, aiming to prevent local interference. So one thing is quite interesting is actually the golden urn system was produced by Qianlong, but that was required by the 8th generation Dalai Lama to the central government. So now we come to the main gate. This is the main gate, and there are two stone lines on both sides of the main gate. Facing the direction of the main gate, the line on the left is the female line. Now you can see the female line. How can one distinguish between the male and the female lines? Look at the female lines. Now you see that the line's foot is stepping on a small line, so baby line, that's the female line, and the male line is stepping on the ball. So this is how to distinguish the lines in China. So after we enter into the gate, there is a long pathway, and now you can see the pathway. And the one kindly reminding is because the Yong He Temple for most of the time, there's a lot of tourists to visit Yong He Temple. So, visit Yong He Temple normally need a pre-reservation. So, if you have a WeChat or the Alipay, then you can search on the program to search the Yong He Temple visit. Then you can make the pre-reservation. If you don't make any reservation, then sometimes there's too many visitors, then they will start to sell the tickets on site. So we continue talking about the golden urns. So 2 golden urns were created, one placed in Beijing Yong He Temple, one placed here, and one placed in Lhasa's Potala Palace. So from that point on, all reincarnation of the Dalai Lama and the Panchen Lama required selection through this lottery system and formal approval by the central government. So now you know why this temple is very important, because there's one golden urn in Lhasa's Potala Palace, but that's not enough. You also needed another one, which was placed here. And with the result, final approval by the central government, actually by the emperor, then the new Lama was chosen. So you know this temple is quite meaningful to this system. So at the end of this long green pathway, then we will find license collection spots on the left and the right side. So we are going to pick some license, and it's all free here. We're picking up our license. Let's go to the shop, the shops for the ritual item ceilings. So these items are similar to cross in Christianity. These items are said are all cancer created, but most of them are over their price here. So if you visit the temple here, I do not suggest you buy any items here. You can bring your own ones, because in this temple there is always some monk said to have the consecration for your own stuffs. So we will also later have the visit for that consecration room. Up our lessons, so we choose the right one. One thing to be reminded here is, in the Chinese temples, normally every time when you make a pre, you just use 3 sticks of your license, not more, not less, just 3 is good enough. And as I said, in Yong He Temple, they are quite generous to offer the free license to you. Now we can see the total layout of Yong He Temple. It consists actually total 6 halls, and we are now just in front of the first hall. The Zhao Tai door. Actually, the Zhao Tai means announced peace, and then is the Yong He door and the Yong He Temple, Yong He Hall, Yong Ming Hall. To the right, and you can see the flagpole here. Actually, one of the traditional performances at Beijing Temple fires was the flagpole dance. A remarkable strong performer would lift and balance numerous heavy flagpole. the temple fairs have been banned for quite a long time, so I don't know whether we have the chance to witness this kind of performance anymore. So now we are heading toward the bell tower. In ancient Chinese cities and the temple complex, the bell tower and the drama tower were often built as pairs. Now you see the bell. So the bell tower is normally used in the morning to mean that every day is start, and the drama tower is for the night to mean the night is start. Right now we are heading to a octagonal tower. So the octagonal tower is not that common thing in all the Chinese architectures, unless it's a big one like the Yong He Temple. Then you also have a pair of octagonal tower. Inside this pavilion stands a massive stone stele. It's carried on the back of large stone turtle. So it recalls the transformation of Yong He Temple from the royal residence to Tibetan Buddhism monastery. So now you see the head of the turtle, and on the back there's a big stone stele. It looks a little bit scary. So this is another pile lines, but this one is quite interesting. It's one of the oldest item in Yong He Temple. It's actually not made by stones. I don't know exactly the materials, but I think it may be made by bronze, or maybe copper. I don't know. And you see, this is actually male lines. So if you look, his claw is actually step on a wall. So you can see lots of people are free here, but actually everyone only use 3 sticker license. As I mentioned, only 3 is good enough for each time free. If people pray for different directions, they pray from east to west to north and to south. So you need to pray to different directions. So this is another tower, and in this tower it's exactly same as the previous one we just visit. It also have a turtle inside with a big stone leaf stand on his back. So let's have a look for the female lions. Now you can see very clearly under her claw there's a baby lion. Actually, I had seen lots of lions in China in different temples or residences in all the architectures. But this pair lines in front of Yong He Temple are quite unique and very beautiful design. Normally, it's not polite to picture or recording inside temple, but in order to have a brief introduction for you, I choose to make recording for all of you guys. Now you can see this is the Yong He Gate. Actually, it's built in 1894. In traditional Chinese temples, the first main hall, right now we are at the first main hall, you enter typically in shrines. Maitreya Buddha at the front. Behind Maitreya stands Skanda Bodhisattva, and on either side are four heavenly kings. So now you see this is the Maitreya Buddha. Also we call the future Buddha. That means he will lead the future of the humans. And now I'm recording for the heavenly kings. So this is the door knocker and the door start. There's some regulation for the door start. Only the imperial allowed to use 9 door stars, no matter the horizontal. This is the caisson ceiling, because all the Chinese architecture normally made by wood. So the caisson ceiling stands for well water. So that means you can use water to create the safe of this architecture. So this is the Skanda Bodhisattva. Now we are entering the front square of the second hall. So now we can see a big brown incense burner, and this is another door. These people taking lines are waiting for entering to the shops to buy the consecration items, which we just mentioned before. The consecration in Chinese we call Kai Guang. Literally change is opening the light. Let's back to the golden urn system. No matter the Dalai Lama or the Pancha Lama, they are both the student of Master Tsongkhapa. So Master Tsongkhapa is actually the founder of Gulu school. The first Dalai Lama actually was Master Kongsapa's first disciple, and the first Pancha Lama is the second disciple of Master Kongsapa. So generally speaking, Dalai Lama and Pancha Lama, they are classmates. We are going to the second hall, the Yong He Hall. So in the Yong He Hall, in the center there are 3 Buddha. From left to right are the past Buddha, the present Buddha, and the future Buddha. So let's step into this hall. Now you can see 3 Buddha sitting in front of us. Are 18 arhat to protect them. So we continue about the golden urn system. The Dalai Lama was first to establish the formal tie with the central government in 1653. That's the 5th generation Dalai Lama. He was invited to Beijing officially and was recognized by Emperor Shunzhi with a title and a golden seal. In 1792, the 8th generation Dalai Lama officially requested the Qing government to formalize the reincarnation process. And at that time, the empire was Qianlong. And the Qianlong officially response for this request and the introduction the golden urn system to Dalai Lama. So back to the very beginning of this movie, then you know why this residence changed officially from palace to the temple. That's the reason. And after that, in 1713, the Banchen Lama also request from the central government to have his own title and the sales. And the golden urn system had officially set. Now I'm taking turns to have the consecration process. So if you look in front, there's a small room. Yeah, this is a small room. If you walk inside, there's a monk seat in front of this room, and you just bring the stuff you bring here. You can see lots of people bring the things they bought or they take from home here, and you just step into the room and put them in front of the cabinet, and the monk will start to pray for these stuffs. But unfortunately, it's not allowed to recording inside, so you cannot see exactly what's inside. So we had finished the open light prayer process. We are back to the golden urn system. So lots of people ask who is bigger, who is powerful, the Dalai Lama or the Banchen Lama. The answer is Dalai Lama is powerful, but actually they have different functions. The Dalai Lama is normally regarded as the Guanyin Bodhisattva residing in Potala Palace. So actually Dalai Lama is the real governor of the whole Tibetan area. And the Banchen Lama actually regarded as the future Buddha. So normally he based in Tashilhunbu. So he is actually the governor for Tashilhunbu. So he's not the governor for whole Tibetan, just for part of the Tibetan. But in the Buddhism religion, the Buddha is higher than the Bodhisattva. So the Banchen is in the religion is the Banchen is a higher position than Dalai, but actually in the real life he is not that powerful comparing Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama actually have the real power to levy taxes upon officials and issue decrees. He has his own army too. One of the funny points is the Dalai Lama and the Banchen Lama. The relation between them is traditionally is the teacher and students. That means if the Banchen is older than the Dalai, will be the students of Banchen, and if after the Banchen passed away, and then the Dalai became the teacher of the Benchan become the teacher of Dalai. So they are the teachers and students take around the generation by generation. Another fun topic is if Benchan passed away, then normally the Dalai have the authorization to say who is the next Benchan, and if the Dalai passed away, the Benchan has the authorization to point out the next Dalai. So this is fun points. I think it's very important for people to know this. To the third hall. So if we look this, we step into this hall is normally for parade. So the monks sit inside to pray for all the peoples. This is the fourth hall, also the last hall of this temple. We call the Wanfu Temple. And in this temple, in this hall, there's a big future Buddha curve, and which 26 meters high, and 18 meters are above ground, and 8 meters are underground. So let's walk inside and just have a look. So this Buddha statue is quite big and made by one wood. So it's really worth to have a visit here. Now we come to the end of the visit, and we just take turns and leave this temple. On our left, there is a tower. Yeah. So now you see this tower, people leaving their lessons here, which not used. And this is the suture library. The function is we store the suture inside this tower. Okay, thank you for watching. I'm Mark, an entrepreneur living between China and Canada. Through my videos, I hope to share insight into life and the entrepreneur journey across both cultures. I guess this is my very first voice-over video, so there may be some imperfections. Thank you for your understanding. I will keep improving and sharing more with you. I will continue sharing my journal of work and life between China and Canada. If there is any topic you are interested in, feel free to leave comments. I would love to hear from you. Thanks again, and see you next time.